So, you guys want to be Amish? You want to know how to get in? First thing you have to do is contact Lebanon Levi, the head of the Amish Mafia. He will do an examination of you and decide whether he is going to allow you to be Amish or not. That is a joke, of course. I'm going to keep throwing Amish Mafia comments out because I just think it's funny. It's completely fake. I just think it's hilarious that somebody would believe that the Amish have a mafia. Anyway, so a lot of people, they drive around in these Amish communities and they see this peaceful, tight-knit community that seems to be perfect and seems to work well together and is crushing, farming, hardworking, and have good ethics. And a lot of what you guys are seeing is true. I would say, the smaller communities, the less conservative ones are maybe less so. But the big community I come from, it's they help each other. It's a great community, good people, hardworking people, good work ethics, just good people. And a lot of people are wondering, could I join the Amish church? Could I be a member of that Amish community? And yeah, you can. Anybody can join that wants to. They don't evangelize, but you can come talk to a bishop, and if you're serious, he will put in progress the steps you need to take to become Amish. There is a man in our community who he was a non-Amish person, and he married an Amish girl, and she refused to leave the Amish, so he had to be Amish, and he did, and he now knows the language, and he is a preacher, a minister in the Amish church. How crazy is that, right? So if you do join the Amish church, beware of that if you're a man, because you don't choose to be a minister, you get chosen randomly. And that's an agreement you make when you join the Amish church, that you promise that you are open to becoming a preacher. So beware of that. Anyway, I would not advise you guys to become Amish. For a few reasons. Reason number one, the most important one, it is they have a different salvation message. It is a false salvation. So they teach a works-based salvation, where the Bible teaches a saved by faith, right? So only God's grace and Jesus' righteousness saves you. Nothing we do saves us. So number one reason, I could go back and live the lifestyle, no problem. I could not sit in church and listen to them preach the word of God falsely. That would be a big struggle for me. So that's no reason number one. I wouldn't go be Amish. And reason number two is the Amish culture and lifestyle just grows up with the kid, right? Grows up with you. And I'm sorry, flapping notes, but I kind of need them for later. It's just ingrained in you as you grow. Nobody teaches it to you. You just know it. And somebody coming from the outside, although it can be done, it will take a long time, probably a lifetime, to really fit in and be Amish, right? So you're always going to kind of stand out, even if you wear the clothes and stuff. You're just always going to be known as not being Amish. Here are the 14 things that you need to do to be Amish without being Amish. You can do these things anyway. It'll make your life better. It'll be richer, not necessarily easier, but your life will be richer. Your family relations will be much improved. The first thing you have to do to be Amish is obviously grow a beard, right? How can you be Amish without that signature Amish full beard? Get rid of the mustache, grow the beard. Not you ladies, just the men. So one of the reasons I can no longer be Amish is because I can't grow a beard. I've tried. 2 months in, it just looked like somebody glued a tumbleweed to my chin. The second thing you have to do to live like the Amish is there has to be a mother and a father in the home. That is the family structure. It is the healthiest family structure. Now, if you're single, just go get married. Go find a partner and get married. It's really that simple, right? I'll let you guys figure that one out. But yeah, so when there is a father and a mother structure in the house, the kids have the opportunity to be raised the healthiest, right? The third thing, speaking to the fathers, you have to be the leader of the household. You have to lead spiritually and financially and protect and provide, right? So you have to be that role. You have to do that role. One of your most important things is leading your family spiritually. Now, my wife will be watching this video as she's soaking in the tub, and she'll send me a text message reminding me to practice what I preach. I'm working on the spiritual thing. It's getting better. Number 4, mothers, you have to stay at home. Quit your job and be a stay-at-home mom. If you don't have kids, you might get bored. Go get a job, it's fine. But it is the healthiest environment for kids to be raised by their own mother at home. And it is best for the family to have a mother at home who cleans and cooks and just provides a nice house for her children and for her husband. Go ahead. I know a lot of you are going to disagree. Just go ahead and leave your hate comments down below. Full disclosure, in these videos, I am going to encourage women, mothers, to stay at home, to be a housewife, right? To be a stay-at-home mom. My wife, however, has always had a job. She did work for home for a while, no longer does. She works outside of the house. There's always exceptions, guys, right? I'm not saying you have to stay at home, but I think it is the healthiest environment for a family to grow in. 5, it's pretty simple. The 5th thing to do, move out of the city. Get some land in the country. You can live in the suburbs and live this way. Yeah, I get it. Something about the country. It's just seems people are nicer and more helpful with each other. Community building is better. You guys get it. Number 6. So to be Amish or live like the Amish, you will have to have a garden and can a lot of food. They save money this way. They just have better food because of this. So and that's why the women have to stay at home. Not only are they raising kids, keeping a clean house, doing dishes and cooking, they are also canning a lot. And they have a full-time, they have a 16-hour, 18-hour a day job, right? So you guys get it. So canning, gardening, do it. Number 7, get some chickens. Chickens are the easiest animals to raise. Get some chickens, you get better eggs. In the summer, if you let them free range, they eat almost no bought food. Like they usually scrounge around and eat bugs, and we hardly go through any bought food when our chickens are free ranging. Although you need to keep some on supply in case they can't find anything, especially in the winter. Get a cow if you can. The milk, you're provided with much better milk than you can buy at the store, and you can make butter, cheese, yogurt, whatever you want out of that. It's great. Goats, whatever else animals you want. Having animals on the farm not only gives you food, but it makes excellent chores for little children to teach them responsibilities as they're growing up. And it gives them something to play with, right? Your cow has a baby, they can play with the baby for a while, so on. And get your kids a pony with a saddle, a cart, and a harness so they can drive it around. They'll have fun with it all day. Most Amish families have a little pony for their kids to play with and drive. Just make sure you live on a not so busy road, because things can happen. Number 8, get rid of your cars. Come on, you can't live like the Amish with a car, right? Well, if you want to do it like they do it, get rid of your car, get a horse and buggy, and get some bicycles. Obviously, if you get a horse, you need some pasture and you need a barn. If you have a cow, you'll need a barn anyway. It limits your travel. It keeps you at home more, which forces you to spend time with family more. Now, I understand it's a pretty big step. If you don't want to do the horse, then get rid of all your cars except for one that the whole family can fit in. And by doing that, it forces you to ride to church together as a family. Probably go shopping together. You know, if you're visiting friends, it forces you to go together as a family. It limits a little bit of travel. One car, so you can travel as a family more often. Now, that means the husband, when you're working, find a coworker to pick you up, or pedal yourself to work, whatever you got to do. Leave the car at home for the wife in case of emergencies, so she can take the kids to the hospital if need be, or she has a way to get around to visit friends, go grocery shopping, whatever. The number 9 you should do no matter where you are, how you're going to live. Number 9 will be the biggest benefit to your life, especially in these times. Number 9 is to get rid of your TVs and your cell phones, especially smartphones. Amish live without TVs and without smartphones, so they do not have to listen to all the chaos in the world today, right? When you aren't bombarded with all that garbage daily, your life just gets better. Because when you look around you, you see that, oh, my neighbors, they're still good people and they're still willing to help. And my church family is still great people, right? And the sun still comes up in the morning, and the rains still come, and it still waters our plants, which grow into food. The world is still good. It's not nearly as chaotic as the TVs and the social media would have you believe. So get rid of that. It'll make your life better. I guarantee you. Another thing it will do is it will force you, since you can't just grab a bag of popcorn and sit in front of the TV and watch a movie or the news for 3 hours, it forces you to interact with family members or read a book or something like that. Much healthier, guys. Much, much healthier. Electricity, number 10. Get rid of it. If you want to live like the Amish, get rid of electricity. The Amish live without it. They have propane stoves, propane refrigerators, propane water heaters, propane lights. And then they have a generator to run power tools or their washing machine. Now, if it was me, I would probably hang on to the electricity just for the lights, just for the refrigerator, because it's cheaper and it's safer. But if you do that, you have to have excellent self-discipline so you don't get carried away plugging everything into the wall. Number 11, the ladies aren't going to like me for this one. Get rid of your clothes dryer. Now, if you're real men, you will help your wife. I have yet to become a man. Get rid of your dryer and hang your clothes out to dry on a clothesline. They smell better. I don't know. They're just better. I think better, personally. Some people don't like it, but I think it feels cleaner and fresher and just being air dried. This might be a problem if you live next to a big pig barn or something, but you figure that out. Now, the washer, you can keep your washer. Just let it run through its cycles and the spin mode. Amish people use a tub with a swisher thing in it. They'll put their clothes in there in soapy water, and then they'll send it through a wringer, which squishes out all the water into a rinse tub, and then into another rinse tub, and then through the wringer again, and then hang them on the line. So we'll leave that up to you. I think a washer would, not that big of a deal. I would keep it. but the dryer's got to go. You know, something I haven't figured out yet. My wife, she gets aggravated at me because I never help her fold clothes. It's because I simply don't believe in it. Why do you need to fold clothes if you're just going to unfold them to put them back on in a day or two, right? Just seems kind of pointless to me. You know, I lived single for good 15 years, and that whole time I kept it simple. I would pull my clothes out of the dryer, put them in a laundry basket, I'd carry them to my room, and then in the morning, I would dump this laundry basket on my bed, and I would pick out what I needed and put them on, and then go about my day. And then when it was time for bed, I would put all these clothes back into the basket, ready for the next morning, right? So I think that is a much more efficient method. Number 12, don't force your kids to go to college. The society nowadays is telling our kids, send them to college, send them to college. They need that diploma, they need that master's degree, whatever. Yes, if you're going to be a surgeon, a doctor, or a lawyer or something like that, you'll have to go get schooling for it. I understand. But for the majority of people, they end up going to college, they end up in debt and not get paid more for jobs they could have found without that degree, right? So trade schools is a great option. Send your boys out to be electricians, to be construction guys, you know, heating and air. There's so many welders, whatever. There's so many trade schools that are much cheaper, and there's a need for that type of work. We don't have enough skilled laborers, right? So that's a great option for boys. Women, the girls, whatever. You know, I think, in my opinion, you should be grooming your girls up and raising them up to be good housewives for their husbands. Once again, that kind of goes with my traditional family idea. So number 13 is probably the hardest one of all, and that is build community. So one of the best things about the Amish are they have a strong community. When somebody is in need, they pull together and they build and they help, right? So a house burned down in my parents' community. It just burned down completely, and within a week, that family had a brand new house, kitchen cabinets, everything, fully furnished, and new clothes sewn for the family. 1 week, guys. That is people pulling together and doing what's needed. And it's tricky nowadays because it just doesn't exist outside of that community as much, right? So, you know, building a community can start with just women, you know, people at church for sure. Find friends at church, start building community there, get together for canning, get together for work days to help somebody, you know, clean out a backyard or whatever it may be. You know, I always dream of someday getting enough people together to have maybe a butcher day every fall that we get together and we harvest some animals, you know, as a group. I remember doing that as a kid. Like, we would get together with cousins and we'd harvest, you know, a cow and a couple pigs, and we have a big bonfire going. It's cold, and big bonfire going with a kettle on there and cracklings just bubbling away, you know, and it's delicious until you eat too many and you're kind of sick. But you know, all the adults were butchering and grinding up meat for hamburger, sausage, whatever it may be. And I think that, you know, even add a little barn dance to the end of it. You know, have a little bit of a harvest party. Just some ideas. Build community, especially in times like these. If the economy tanks again or something goes bad, you can't survive alone. You have to have other people around you to support, right? To support each other. So important, hard to do, but important. Now number 14, it's probably the easiest one to do. if you want to be Amish, or if you want to live like the Amish, then you have to add sugar to anything you cook or bake. Amish people eat heavy, heavy foods, and they usually work, they can because they work physically, right? They're laborers. Yeah, they don't add sugar to your mashed potatoes, please. But they add a lot of sugar. Their desserts are super rich. Their foods are just, yeah, they're heavy. This is kind of funny because my wife makes spaghetti once in a while. And she made it a couple times, and I would sit down and eat her spaghetti, and I'd tell her, you know, something's missing. Like it's lacking something. And I couldn't figure out how. She tried different recipes, different ways of making it, and it was still lacking. Something was missing, right? And so she kind of gave up. We kind of gave up on trying to figure out what it was. And then we were back eating dinner with my brother. We were back visiting in Indiana and eating dinner with my brother and my sister-in-law. And my wife brought this up. She was like, I'm frustrated, you know. He says it's missing. He doesn't like my spaghetti, right? And my sister-in-law, she was like, oh, I had the same problem. I made spaghetti, and it was my brother. Something's missing. It's not, you know, something's missing. So my sister-in-law asked my mom why she can't, what she did with her spaghetti. And my mom said, well, I'll just add beans and sugar. And some hamburger. I don't know what all goes in spaghetti, but she added sugar to spaghetti. And that's what was missing, right? My mom was a great cook. She probably added sugar to almost everything, but it was good. It was good food. Now, when I go back to eat my mom's spaghetti, I definitely notice the sweet taste, but I didn't before. So those are the 14 things you need to do to live like the Amish. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was fun putting this list together. A lot of these things will enrich your life if you follow them. It'll change it. It won't make it easier, just make it better as far as family, raising kids, all that. So thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys. Hit the Rogans up, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs down, and I'll know you're a Nickelback fan. You should go see a doctor.